Sabotaging your ability to manifest money easily and manifesting it in flow versus the hard way is a very common mistake that most people are doing. But there's a proven, very simple practice that will change it all for you. And it's proven by neuroscience to work. In this video, I'm going to teach you what to avoid so that you don't block your own money flow, and what to do instead so that you set yourself up to be someone who manifests money at your command. And you can. My name is Wanda Vitale, and I'm a transformational life coach and a certified dream builder coach. I work with men and women every day to prepare them for an abundance of money by removing the blocks that prevent it. I thought this would be a great topic today because so many people, including some of my clients, are being impacted by the economy. All industries are being hit. Also, so many of you are the coaches and the visionaries of the future. And one of the things that is stopping you is money, fear of, I don't have enough money, or I won't have enough money. So let's dive into this. What you do in the morning, that very first hour when you wake up, will either put your brain in a reactive state or a proactive state. If you put it in a reactive state, you're going to increase cortisol, the stress hormone. If you put it in a reactive state, you're going to increase cortisol, the stress hormone. And when you do that, your whole body responds to the stress. And when you do that, you put yourself in scarcity mode. And scarcity mode is the complete opposite of you being able to manifest money easily. So of course, you get frustrated when you can't manifest the money. And it often comes down to the things that you do in that very first hour that you wake up. So we're going to make this one change, because if you do this, you're setting yourself up to be someone who manifests money through you easily. It becomes fun and easy. It's actually exciting to look forward to how it's going to show up. Your brain is the most active in decision making within the very first hour when you wake up. It's also a perfect opportunity to rewire your brain during that first part of your day. Neuroplasticity is heightened during that first hour, and what you do makes all the difference. But what do most people do? We put our brains in a reactive state. We get on social media, or we check email. We look at the news. We respond to text messages. We do anything else that is not proactive, but instead we're reacting to something else. So don't do that any longer, because it doesn't match the energy that you want to be able to manifest money. Being in a reactive state constricts money. It makes it so much harder. Putting your brain in a reactive mode puts you in scarcity mode. You start the day in survival mode, in fight, flight, and freeze. And you cannot manifest abundance when your brain is in scarcity thinking and when your body is in survival mode. So instead, we're going to put it in a proactive state. When you're proactive, you're also activating the part of your brain that tells it, well, where do I focus here? For example, you've all done this. An example of this is when you're thinking about buying a car. Several months ago, my husband decided he wanted a Jeep. We live in the mountains, and I saw Subarus everywhere because that's what I have, a Subaru. But suddenly, no matter where I went, there were Jeeps everywhere, everywhere. And I know you've done that. Maybe you decided that you wanted to buy a red car. Suddenly they're everywhere, or even an orange car, and suddenly they're everywhere. we're always telling our brain what to look for. So we need to tell it to look for what we prefer instead of what we don't prefer. On top of that, we use dopamine in the morning. So dopamine is the feel-good neurochemical. So giving yourself dopamine literally motivates you to take action. That starts the momentum, that increases your frequency and makes it easy for you to manifest money. So now that you know that, now that you know that the decision you make that first hour that you wake up is going to set you free to become a magnet for money, I'm going to give you the 3 simple steps that you're going to do every single morning. And you do it within the first hour of when you wake up. And I mean the early part of that first hour. So you're no longer going to be checking your phone or email messages. You're not going to get on social media to see what has befallen the world that night. You're not going to watch TV if that's something that you do. Instead, before your feet hit the ground, you're going to spend a minute in gratitude. Gratitude that you can breathe. Gratitude that you can wiggle your fingers and toes. Gratitude that you have a bed. Gratitude that you can breathe. Just a minute before your feet hit the ground. And then in that first part of the hour after you wake up, you're going to ask yourself, what is one step that I can take today that moves me closer to financial freedom? This simple little question activates the part of your brain that makes decisions, and it's the part of your brain that knows where to focus, and it will now see the answers. In other words, your brain notices opportunities that you wouldn't have noticed. And once you determine your answer, and it may hit you like a thought, it may be a feeling, and it may not even come right away. It may come shortly after that. It could come through an intuitive hit, but you're going to take immediate action. It might look like reaching out to an opportunity. It might look like checking your investments. It might be learning money management. It might be anything related to growing or increasing money. Again, we're rewiring your brain so that from that point on, it knows where to put your focus. So I get it. You might be saying things like, well, manifestation doesn't take any action. I just have to think about the end result and it will happen. Neville Goddard said, you just live in the end. Imagination creates reality. But the truth is that you have a part in creating your reality, and it doesn't just happen in what you put your visualization on or what you imagine. I'll give you an example. When I recreated my life from the ashes, when I didn't have a coaching business, when I didn't really know what I was going to do, when I literally had very little money, I did just this. I would get up every morning and I would ask, what are we doing today? What's one thing I can do today that will move the dial? And I would wait for an answer or an idea, or I'd just start doing what I needed to do, being positive. So many people right now are focused on worst case scenarios and they're worried, they're anxious. So I stayed in a positive place, knowing that I'd get an idea, something would happen, something would land in front of my nose. And whatever the thing was that I got to do, call so-and-so, do this, I did it. One step at a time. I recreated my life. I got the idea, okay, start a group on social media. And again, this was several years ago. Start a group. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know what I did. So I just went with it. So I started a group. I asked for feedback. And that's how I started to do this. This was before my certification and when I had no clue what I was here to do. This is how it works, one step at a time, and you do it. We take aligned action and we enjoy the process. And that's the other thing. So many people are saying, this is what I want in my life. And then they're taking action that feels horrible. And that's not how it works. Everything is your energy. Enjoy the process, whatever it is. Whatever it is, when you get an idea that do this, realize that in some way it is going to move you closer to your vision, to more money, one step at a time. It does. This simple practice in the morning allows you to be focused. It allows you to know your aligned action. There are many, many times that manifestation is going to have many aligned actions, inspirations, your intuition, your part in the process of creating your reality. Yeah. It doesn't mean that the steps that you take are going to be the only way it will happen, but you're creating momentum. You're moving energy. You're saying yes to more money. You're living in the alignment of, I am creating more abundance, more money. And money has no choice but to agree, to show up. So when you make that decision in the morning and you say, what is the one step? Again, you may or may not manifest your money through that step, but you're definitely increasing your frequency. And in that frequency is where you will manifest your money. You're not in charge of how it must happen, but you do play a part in the creation of your reality. There's a compound effect when it comes to manifestation. When you do this simple practice, you create new habits. When you take those tiny action steps, you give yourself dopamine, the feel-good neurochemical. When the dopamine hits, you increase your confidence. You increase your thinking process. You are able to think in ways that you've never thought before because you're tapping into higher vibrational frequencies. You become financially abundant through entering the frequency of where that energy of money is. And as you do that, you start to enter different frequencies, and manifesting money becomes easy for you. Money is all around us, everywhere. But when we have grown up in scarcity and lack, that's what the mind looks for. So this is the process in the morning. It all begins with that first decision that you make in the first hour of your day, being proactive, not reactive, because you're limitless. You're way more powerful than you realize. And I can't wait for you to realize that and experience all the ways that money can flow in.